Okay, fine, fine. I think that was not supposed to go on stream, but even if you guys saw it, it's just me scratching Gautam's hand. Hey, hey, it's so much fun annoying Virkaholic because he's literally like Clash Royale's giant. He'll just move forward. He won't.
Only hit buildings, right? Not the people.
Yeah.
Good analysis, by the way.
Yes.
But we have an exciting Dota 2 match today, and I am personally looking forward to this match.
So am I. My full support goes to the council boys from across the border in Bangladesh.
Yes, and the team Buriza, who's going to be representing India today in this best of one Dota 2. They don't have the opportunity like Clash Royale to do a best of 5. So why don't you, Vagish, introduce the teams?
Sure. Let's start off with Buriza. Let's get to know Team Buriza first.
Go Buriza. All right, so Team Buriza, who's actually from Delhi, but it's a Hyderabad-based team. So there's been a lot of back and forth on their movement. So I don't know.
No, it's a Hyderabad team based out of Delhi.
No, it's a Delhi team that is based out of Hyderabad. The kids are from Delhi, but they went to Hyderabad to play because someone set them up with the team house and the brand name and everything.
And great internet.
Yes, and great internet. Hyderabad had great internet, so that was good for them. And on the other hand, we have Team Council from Bangladesh. So why don't we take a look at those guys?
Well, that's Team Council from Bangladesh. We've seen them in the Challenger Cup in 2016. ESL
Challenger 2, to be exact. Challenger 2 in 2016 is in Bangalore is where they took their first victory.
Yeah, I mean,
If
that's
I'm
what
correct,
that
yes.
2016
Yeah.
Challenger was where they marked the, how would I say, the Indian turf with their presence
Yes.
and their win.
The thing was, a couple of points to be noted at that point was Council didn't have that much of a competition coming into that Challenger 2 because the top 2 teams had already qualified. So at that time, the top 2 teams were, what was Crowley's team that time? They've changed names so often.
Invisible Wings,
Wings,
IW.
and the second team was?
I think
God.
I forget.
Wait, was it? Sorry? Beyond Infinity.
Infinity.
Yes, it was BI and Invisible Wings. They had already qualified in the previous Challenger, so they did not need to come to this Challenger. Hence, Council kind of breezed through everything and destroyed all the Indian teams there, fairly solidifying their
In fact,
presence.
they've made their presence felt in the Delhi Masters in 2016 itself, and they came here. They were facing Invisible Wings, if you remember.
Did they beat them? I don't
No,
think
they
so.
did not beat them.
They
They
lost them
did
in the
not
final.
manage to win. They came close enough.
Yeah.
Sadly, they could not win. But it definitely sent ripples across the Indian Dota scene and circuit that, hey, this team is here and they can be dangerous if you are A, overconfident about your team's prowess, and B, if you underestimate them.
Do we have standings? If we can have the standings.
Yes, we have standings.
Go standings. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
The standings are up on the screen right now, and you kind of see where everyone stands. Council has not been doing well so far. They've lost 4 matches out of the 5 they've played. Only 1 win. I don't know who they actually ended up beating. However, on the other hand, Team Buriza is doing fairly strong. They've played 7 matches, 5 victories, and 2 losses. Vagish, it's sad to see Buriza on number 3 because, but however, look
How can it be sad to see Buriza on number 3?
I want Buriza to be higher than number 3.
Well, you have ROG Titans trailing Buriza. You
Yeah,
cannot.
but I think Buriza has the potential to be number 2. They've done really well in some of the LAN events. They've already taken first places in a couple of LAN events. Not particularly the Premiership. They've done pretty well in the Dew Arena. That's where Buriza did well, and also Taiwan Excellence.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Signify teams like Signify, ROG Titans.
Both the events did not have Signify, by the way.
Yeah.
And A5 won the Duarina,
Yes,
and
they
they
did.
Buriza came second,
Yes.
and Taiwan Excellence Buriza came first.
Yes.
And the A5 actually lost right at the beginning of that tournament.
Yes,
It was
they
quite
did. Yes,
interesting
they did.
seeing such craziness that was happening in the Indian Dota scene if Signify wasn't playing. So I am happy, excited, all ready,
Mixed
prepped up
feelings.
for this thing. We will not be doing the draft today. We'll leave the draft to the pros because Angela is not in today. As you can see, she's clearly none of us is Angela.
No, wait. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be beginning Dota 2. No, she going to beat me up if she sees
So
this. Oh my
we'll leave the
god.
draft to the pros. We'll let who's
Vivek.
Vivek and
Floki.
Floki do the draft today. So
F
please,
Loki.
have we done both? We're done, right? We're done. Yeah, we'll leave it to the pros to do the draft, guys. Take care.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the ESL India Premiership. My name is Vivek. With me is Floki. You're watching the summer season phase 1, day 29, and we got Team Buriza facing off versus the Council. The draft already underway, Floki, and it seems as if Team Buriza have come prepared for this one. They've banned out some of the Council's go to favorites.
They've banned out every single hero that allows Jin to control multiple units, but Jin, we know how he plays. So he's gonna build the Helm of the Dominator. Dota is too easy for him, and he will micro and he will still somehow do some crazy shenanigans. I'm quite sure of it, Jin.
Absolutely. Buriza looking quite strong in the course of phase one. They've had only two losses so far. One loss was versus Signify, the other loss was versus Reckoning, but they've beaten most of their other opponents. They've beaten Akatsuki, they've beaten ADE, they've beaten Nefarious, Alpha, and Reckoning Infinity.
And
And
they
I'm,
played
I'm sure
against
you
RG.
remember their previous game versus Akatsuki, which,
Oh yeah,
uh,
I do.
I
That was
mean,
all but a tiny show, man. Like holy crap.
absolutely. We got a half day, and I think
Let's not let's cut them some slack. I mean, I'm quite sure that Akatsuki probably had some issues going on for themselves.
absolutely. Yeah, it was a rough day for Akatsuki.
Yeah. Uh,
Buriza are also one of those teams that have more than one member in the team photo smiling. Micro, Helm, and Butter all have got big, nice smiles showing off their pearly
oh
teeth
yeah.
here. But back to the draft. Council, I want to tell you something, Floki. We've been
Oh
we've
yeah.
been watching and following Epicenter, and we've been talking about how I mean the 2-1-2 laning meta has started to develop.
Mhm.
Council ran 2-1-2 lanes before other teams played 2-1-2 lanes. They've been running them since the past 2 years, so they are
Okay.
familiar with running those kind of lanes. But they only run them with very certain heroes like Chen plus Sand King or
Mhm.
Sand King plus one. They
Well,
have a very fixed way of running those side lanes.
yeah, given the recent drama regarding players getting patch information beforehand, I think it's safe to say that Council probably got the patch information 2 years prior, and they were just preparing for this patch all along.
Absolutely. And
Council on TI8, boys.
then the next Thursday came, and then everything went wrong for them.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. I mean, it is
But
Ice Rock, so Council go
yeah,
with the Pugna against Leshrac. That's really, really good. I'm just gonna cut you off and talk about this for a bit.
why?
So the Pugna Netherward is, of course, extremely great against Leshrac, who likes to spam his spells. The bigger part of Leshrac is also that his mana cost is extremely high on his spells once they hit their maximum level. I think Lightning costs around 140 mana now. Also, the Split Earth costs an upwards of 150 mana. So just casting those two spells brings our lovely Disco Pony down to around 300 health. And on top of that, you add the fact that Leshrac is not a very tanky hero. He's actually rather squishy. This forces him to build items like the BKB, which he doesn't often diverge for. Diverging for those items can actually be quite dangerous, and Council will go for the Tinker. So
I
this
think
is gonna be a
yeah.
Tinker that's gonna be hard to catch because if you look at Buriza, all the catch really is the Earthshaker, and maybe if they get lucky, they can clip the Tinker with the Ice Blast and cancel his Blink.
Tom Spirit.
Storm could be here, but Storm is actually not that bad here. Now that you mention it, Storm could be amazing, in fact. But this would mean that it's gonna be the draft are gonna be super weird with the Storm Spirit. They're gonna have to send Lesh on support along with Apparition. Then you have an Underlord and Earthshaker both looking to play core. And I don't think that's probably going to happen for Buriza. So if they do pick the Storm, they will counter the Tinker, but how are they going to run their lanes? Because you have an Underlord, an Earthshaker, a Disco Pony, as well as the Apparition.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So both the supports seem to be the Ancient Apparition and the Earthshaker. Um, if I'm not mistaken, I think Leshrac will be played as a core. Haven't seen core Earthshaker in a while, uh, which means that they're looking for a safe laner. If this is a mid Leshrac, a safe laner that can deal with the Tinker,
Yeah,
Void
we
maybe.
might
I don't know.
see the Slug coming here, actually. I don't think the Slug would be too bad for Buriza. I
But the
think, though,
Slark doesn't really help Siege. I mean, he's
yeah,
gonna
I
get
mean,
so controlled in these fights, and I think.
yeah, they're gonna go. Okay, yeah, Anti-Mage is a much better pick, in fact. Anti-Mage does very, very well against the Pugna, the Tinker as
Mhm.
well. The only problem he's gonna be having is that these lanes are now 2-1-2. So if he has a rough laning phase, it could be extremely difficult for him to recover. Remember, the Battle Fury actually costs 300 gold more now, so that is also something that you have to account for
Right.
if you're Bariza. And
So we've got a
Tinker
mid
early on,
Leshrac
yeah.
versus the Tinker.
Yeah, a mid Leshrac versus Tinker. I think I'd like to say this matchup is relatively even, but the Leshrac pulls ahead once he hits level 6 because any rotation from Buriza, like a simple fissure, and Tinker will end up falling at level 6 or even earlier, in fact.
Right.
So, but the good thing about Tinker is that he can just flash from jungle camp. So as soon as he hits level 6, I expect him to probably get rearm and move around the jungle to sort of make sure he doesn't get ganked and caught out by the supports on the side of Buriza.
I'm not too pleased with the supports coming out from the side of Buriza as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they've got team fight presence, but as far as the lanes are concerned, they're not going to be doing as much as, say, a Sand King, a Witch Doctor, and a Pugna. Which is why both, I think we might see Team Buriza run a more conventional trial lane here. Because just the Ancient Apparition and the Anti-Mage versus what I think is going to be Pugna and Sand King, they're going to have a really hard time. I
Oh
think
yeah.
the Anti-Mage will be run over if he's not got the Earthshaker to help him out. And even with the Earthshaker, it's going to kind of be hit or miss. One of the other things that a lot of teams have been doing in Epicenter, because of it being an offlaner +1 in the offlane, is that they just send the safe laner to the hard lane and they give their 3 position the safe lane. So, I mean, just to simplify it in relation to this game, it would mean sending Darshan and the Underlord to the safe lane and sending
Okay.
AM top.
That
But
wouldn't be too bad of an idea, to be honest,
yeah,
because against the
exactly.
Luna,
Send AM top with supports.
yeah, and the supports on the side of Buriza, I'd like to say they're actually slightly worse than the ones on the side of, I mean, the council.
Oh,
I mean, this is
yeah.
no rocket science. You just look at the Witch Doctor, you look at the Pugna. No, if Pugna is support, I'm not sure who the support is here. We have seen Animal and Jit constantly swap those roles.
They're
So.
kind of fluid about
Yeah,
what's
it's
a
like there's
support
no
on the side of the
particular
council.
3 on the side
Yeah,
of council. There is a 5, but there is no 3 or no 4.
they don't like labels. They
Oh, yeah.
moved beyond them.
In fact, they are just keeping up with the trend, 2018, don't want to offend anyone, not label people.
Absolutely.
Double
So Jin just ran through to scout out the lanes. I think he's confirmed their suspicions that it's gonna be the anti-mage and the safe lane. So Council wanted to check if they're running the AM top. And the way Council want to respond to this is they're gonna run an aggressive trial lane. Now, it's gonna be extremely crucial as to how Team Buriza deal with this. For starters, they're gonna end up losing Helm on the Ancient Apparition. And when they make a lane switch, they've got to be extremely careful as to how they make that lane switch. Because sort of just TPing up top is not going to be effective because the council can just TP back to respond to that.
Yeah, this aggressive trialing is actually extremely great for the council because you look
Absolutely.
at the apparition, there's nothing he can do. These heroes just start running at him. The Sand King runs at you. The Witch Doctor will run you down with the cask. And the apparition, what does he do? He has chilling touch level. He has chilling touch level 1. He doesn't even have the cold feet, so there's no way he can actually stun people, hold them in position. Or maybe with the Ice Vortex, slow things down. And
exactly. So what Team Buriza are trying to do is maybe sack the safe lane and try and apply pressure mid. Yeah, so they've got the perfect fissure. This is going to force out a rotation from the Sand King. And this is a little bit of space for Saurabh in that safe lane.
Yep. Well, Micro should be having a relatively decent time against Susmoy. But Susmai, he could certainly pull ahead once he has a few levels going for himself. The March spam is not something that Leshrac deals with very well.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can toss out the lightning, but it's going to take a toll on your mana pool.
Yeah, this could actually be one of those games where you skip the heat-seeking missiles, pick up the march, and down bottom. You spoke of how the Ancient Apparition can't do much. He ventures to the side of his lane into the trees, and he's going to lose a lot of HP. Animal, keeping track of the Ancient Apparition, has the Burrow Strike, finds another kill.
Man, those creeps are traitors on the side of Buriza, just blocking poor Apparition in their health, not finding a way to run away.
Yeah, down bottom, Sora is going to be able to... He's going to be forced to blink back. Butter does TP in, which is the correction that Buriza had to make from the very beginning. Or they've got to switch lanes.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely atrocious for the AM. I think he just try and go top and make Council spend time chasing this AM around. I think that's the best they can hope for at this point.
AM shouldn't TP top. He should ideally look to walk top.
I think even if he goes top and then forces a TP, at least farms one way before forcing those TPs. That'd be good.
Yeah, but that's... I don't know how that ends up working in the long term. But yeah, Floki, I want you to talk a little bit more and tell me why the Ancient Apparition and the Earthshaker are not the correct supports for this kind of game.
Okay, I mean, we're gonna have to talk a bit about statistics and what the base stats are for each hero. If you look at Butter, he is a melee hero with 57 base damage, has boots but has no stout shield, so every single time he trades he's not gonna come out on top. Also add the fact that he only has 2 armor level 1, so right clicks do hurt him. Bottom lane, that actually does get blocked. Anyway, I'm gonna continue on my next
well, they're going in, 2-man burrow. Maltic is there. And Team Buriza, they've got to be careful. Look at this. Sora tries to get involved in this fight early, doesn't find too much.
Yeah, he's going to need the mana burn if he wants to do some work. He does have it, but I think putting those extra points in spell shield, putting that one extra point in spell shield early on does give him a lot of value against the Maledict.
So yeah, I want you to go back to why these supports are the best. So the Earthshaker can't trade.
Yeah, okay, so first he can't trade. Second, he is nothing more than a walking fissure, to be honest. Like, he can come and try to right click, but he doesn't really provide any value because his damage is decent.
So you do the fissure, but there's no follow-up coming up from your core. Like, AM can't do much with the fissure.
Yeah, AM
not
can't
in the
do
lanes.
Much. Apparition can't do much either. If there was something like a Kunkka that could follow up and this Earthshaker was maybe an off-lane Earthshaker, then you could like justify, oh yeah, that the Earthshaker pick is decent here.
Right.
And then you look at the Apparition, he just has chilling touch level 1, so Smite might actually end up falling here.
Yep. Split out perfectly timed. Well, I think what Buriza recognize is that they can't do much for the AM, but they can certainly try and win mid.
Oh yeah. I think a lot of teams, when they are on this Dire, they place this Observer Ward to the left of the Dire, no, to the right of the Dire tier 1. Instead of doing that, I think if they place it to the left of the Dire tier 1, it'll give them some vision of the high ground and spot out incoming ganks from the side of the Radiant. I'd like to see
it kind of depends as to how you read the lanes, right? If you envision the supports being bottom, you want to place it to the left. I think what's another thing that you got to account for is that I've almost been watching all these Epicenter games. We've been casting a bunch of them, but if you're looking at how ganks take place at mid, it's no more just one hero moving mid. It's literally it's both supports moving in from both the east and the west. Also, Susmoy, I mean, he's now started putting points into March the Fisher though. Perfect from Butter, nearly perfect in fact, but Susmoy will manage to get away, turns around, drops the laser. Lightning Storm though will secure the kill, and Micro could chase for more. This time the split out's off the mark. He's got the Lightning Storm. Butter, he'll try to run him down. He's got a Fisher again in another 3 seconds. Animal should end up falling. He pops the Sal. There's Micro with the Lightning Storm, and that's a double kill for the Leshrac.
Leshrac is having a really good start, and this is scary for Council. You hope that Pugna is doing well at this point, but look top, he is level 5 but doesn't have any points to the Netherward, so early on it's going to be a bit difficult for Council to punish this Leshrac, but as the game goes on and as the Pugna gets leveled, it's going to get a lot easier.
I think even though we both agree that Buriza have the greedier lanes, they're actually not doing that bad. They're winning mid, they're trading even up top nearly, and Sora, I mean, he's just about 5 CS behind the Luna.
But the Luna factor is still running for the side of Council. What the Luna factor is essentially is that the Luna is going to get bigger, she can fight earlier, and
Right.
she's going to reach a peak rather early on. So even though Leshrac is having an amazing time, if Death has a better time, gets his BKB, he can just run down all the zeros on the side of Buriza. Because you look at Buriza's zeros, except for anti-mage, none of them have decent ways of escaping. You're
Do you
relying
think-
on an Underlord ulti.
Do you think he does Hurricane Pike BKB? Is that how?
Probably not. You still want to get your Mask of Madness, farm up a bit, and then around the 27 minute mark, disassemble the Mask of Madness, get yourself a Butterfly. Hurricane Pike, this game has its
So,
merit, of course, and breaking
So
cold
you
feet.
say what would you like to see in build really?
Yeah, so I'd like to see him build a Mask of Madness followed by a Dragon Lance into a Manta BKB or a Yasha BKB, then followed up with a Manta and Pike. At that point, it's gonna be a lot better to have the Pike, because that's when you really start looking to break cold feet, when your BKB charges start to drop a little bit lower.
Mask of Madness, Dragon Lance, hopefully by say the 18-minute, 20-minute mark at most, and then see which way the game is going.
Oh yeah, I think he can actually just skip the Dragon Lance entirely though and get it a bit later on if he so desires. The Mantis style is pretty decent.
Up top, Jane dropping low, he's got the life drain on cooldown, he's gonna end up falling, while Micro solo kills the Tinker at mid.
I mean, this is the problem, right? This is what I was talking about. Leshrac, when he gets his level 6, comes online with the Pulse Nova, and he just has to connect his stun, which is actually pretty damn easy once you have a lot of points in the Lightning Storm. Because Lightning Storm is a 1 second slow, and it's a 75% slow, so it makes landing the stun all the more easier. Susmoy, at this point, you really wish he had a Soul Ring and was able to jungle, but all he has to his name is a Magic Stick, a bottle, and an Alt Talisman.
I also really wish he didn't put those 2 points into the heat-seeking missile.
Oh boy, and let's
I'm gonna look up top where Jane, caught in the bit of malice, slowed down, controlled by the cold feet, will end up falling. Darshan with an additional 70 damage courtesy that Atrophy aura.
Oh yeah. And also the fact that he had Chilling Touch up on him.
Oh, yeah.
Really helps you. There's also one thing that I want to point out is that Susmoy is actually half the net worth of Micro in the mid lane.
So although Council had the better draft as far as the lanes were concerned, they're still losing 2 out of 3 lanes. I want to look at the mid lane, and I think they're losing mid partly because of Susmoy's skill build, and obviously because of Micro just outplaying him at a certain level and those rotations coming in from the supports.
Yeah.
But the other thing that you got to factor is that they haven't really shut down Sora. So the aggressive try isn't very aggressive, beyond killing Helm, which is meaningless. And these supports, they aren't winning mid, they aren't really shutting down the enemy safely now.
I mean, you look
I'm
at
kind of
Plus.
worried for the Council. The best thing that the supports could do right now is stack, but instead they're just chilling mid, hoping that they're there when Buriza make a play onto the Tinker again.
And if you look at the Tinker, he's died 3 times already, and he didn't buy out every single time before he died. If he bought out, those stats could have probably meant nothing, but every single time Susmoy gets gone upon, he's unable to buy out, and as a result, keeps losing his gold. You also add the fact that Luna hasn't actually done as well as she should have. I mean, you look at Underlord in top lane, despite being against the Pugna, he has nearly 48 last hits at this point, and Luna only has 36. I mean, 37 for now.
Yeah.
So you idly want to see this Luna have a bit more farm, and Deadsy try to do something. I think he tried to pull the creep wave towards himself, but it's not gonna work out.
Wait, was he trying to pull the Radiant creep wave?
Yeah, he's trying to pull the Radiant creep wave, but
So
it's not gonna work.
I think Deaths has never played the off lane all that much, because when you try and pull the Radiant creep wave, I'm going to get back to that later, because mid lane they're trying to bring down Micro. This could be worth a lot of gold. They want to give it to the Tinker, but it's Lost Rider who claims that dominating streak.
Well, the good thing is Tinker gets some XP, he's gonna get close to level 7. And there's also this one thing that a friend of mine does a lot whenever he plays Tinker. He always picks up the Tome of Knowledge, and he hits the jungle. Maybe Susmoy looks to do something similar given the fact that he has had a bit of a pickle here in the mid lane.
Yeah.
He's been in a bit of a pickle here, he's not had a pickle. He would be very happy if he would be having a pickle and playing the game.
Council, they're trying to shut down Darshan. Spot from the high ground, they got the cast, the Maledict is available, but the Bow Strike will not reach. And now Team Buriza look to turn this around. Decrypt, Blast, Life Drain. But look at the Witch Doctor. He's dropping low. He pops his stick or wand, tries to stay alive, but then burst damage. Just a bit too much in Micro. He'll run down Jane, get himself a double kill. Darshan, affected by the Maledict, will tick down, but Micro might just get himself a third. They lose the Underlord, but they find 3 kills in return. And this is a Leshrac with just boots and a couple of null talismans.
And he also is getting very, very close to his Yule Scepter. Once he has the Yule Scepter, he can land those stuns quite easily. Susmoy is also going to have to be careful because he doesn't have his Boots of Travel yet. So Micro can literally just run up to him, hurl him up in the air, land a stun and kill him all by himself.
You play a lot of Tinker. I've watched a lot of Tinker and played a lot of Tinker. You want to be getting your BOTs by at least the 12-13 minute mark. Soul Ring or no Soul Ring.
Yeah, ideally that's where you want to be if you're a Tinker.
He's getting his Soul Ring at the 10 minute mark.
So you go for the Soul Ring in 2 cases before
they might find Susmoy. The Haste Rune. The Haste Rune.
Yep.
Anyway, he's been forced to pop it, and now with Lost Rider and Animal sitting on the Radiant side of the river, they could try and turn things around, but no. These supports, they aren't applying pressure on any part of the map.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Animal, you look at Witch Doctor, they haven't done too much, but they might do something in the bottom lane. But Butter is here with the Fissure.
Yeah, this is when the Fissure starts becoming useful. It becomes useful to disjoint a gank, but it's very hard to actually help Sorab lane. It's useful to keep Sorab alive instead.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by Butter's skill build. He went for more points into the Aftershock instead of getting more points into the Fissure.
It increases stun duration, but Fissure, by leveling Fissure, you increase damage. It increases stun duration and a little bit of the AoE of the Fissure.
The thing is about the Aftershock build, you really want to do it when you're in the offlane and you can get those guaranteed totems off. In these situations, it's sort of unreliable to say the least.
They might find Animal. There's the Fissure. Ice Blast. It did connect. I don't know if the blast itself did connect, but the Council, they're looking to turn things around. They should find Butter. Butter will probably end up ticking down to the Maledict while Helm tries to find a kill, gets controlled by the Butter Strike, ticks down to death, but Micro TPs in, cleans up onto the Sand King. They're looking for more. They got the Pit of Malice coming in. Darshan with the rotation will help find this Luna, and the Yule Scepter from Micro sets up perfectly. Sorab is getting the kill for himself with that Mana Void. So despite the aggressive trial lane that he was up against, Sorab, he hasn't died a single time, and now he's ahead of the Luna in terms of net worth.
Oh yeah, I mean Sorab, this is something that Council didn't do very well. It was shutting down Sorab by killing him a lot. Sure, you limit his farm, but you don't really kill the anti-mage and set him back now, so he still gets levels and he can assist his team with the Mana Void. He's also sitting on... Yeah, he's bought himself a Demon Edge, so he's getting closer and closer to his Bat Fury only. Let's do some quick math here. He's only 800 gold away from it at this point.
Look at this. Micro moves into the Council jungle, sets up on Susmoy. And 13 minutes in, his Boots of Travel nowhere in sight.
Oh yeah.
Up top though, Earthshaker dropping low. Animal though, attacked by the Cold Feet, will have to run. There was a life drain trying to keep the Sand King alive. But Jin thought the better of it, and Animal should probably end up falling. The Nether Ward is there, but the Firestorm, along with Hell, more than enough to bring down the Sand King.
That was some weird pathing there. Animal, he Butter Strike into the trees, but for some reason he came back out of the trees, and he actually ended up falling because of that.
Yeah.
That's something you probably want to look at the replay and check. Was that you right-clicking incorrectly, or was that a bug by Valve? Because
I think that it
happens at times. Maybe.
Oh, could just be a bug.
Yeah, they are stacking for this Luna, but the problem is the Luna can't clear the stacks. The Luna doesn't have a Mask of Madness at this point. Only sitting on a Lifesteal Mask, and look at the sword back to the point of DD.
Done! Blink is on cooldown. No, come on.
He's afraid of fighting a DD anti-mage. I think that's the right call, to be honest.
Okay.
A top lane, while we are talking about this, Jin is just dying again and again. 0, 4, and 1 on his Pugna. Not his fault really, he's just been pressured all the while.
They might lose Lost Rider as well. The Cold Feet, one proc, no Fissure coming through either.
I mean, what's Animal doing? That's what I'm curious about. I mean, he's just been running around in circles on this entire map, not really getting much done on his Sand King.
Right.
If you're the Sand King, you probably want to have a TP just at the ready every single time you see enemy supports make an
Absolutely,
aggressive
and
play.
now
TP
he's calling
and
out
auto
his
strike
TP.
punish.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, the council, they had the right idea, but the execution so far has been poor.
Yeah.
They have one window, and that is when the Tinker gets his Blink Dagger. I mean, I'm gonna say Tinker with his Blink Dagger, not Sand King with his Blink Dagger, ideally, because he's gonna take a lot of time to get it. He's sitting on 170 gold 15 minutes in, nowhere close to the Blink. Susmoy, on the other hand.
Up top though, they're prepping for Jin. They've got the Yule Scepter, the Fisher off the mark. The Ice Blast will miss Jin. Could look to turn with the Life Drain, and there it is. The Saki onto the Leshrac, but the damage is there from the Firestorm. They'll get the kill onto the Pugna. Lost Rider channeling the Dead Ball. Animal with the Bounce Strike controls Darshan. They should find the Underlord, but he's got a pipe. One charges as well. Will drop the Firestorm. No Dark Rip for him today, and he's going to end up falling. Butter just drops a Fisher to zone them out, but Micro's out of here. That's what matters for the side of Team Buriza. While Butter, he's being run down. There's an Ice Vortex on the ground. He'll turn around with the Enchanter, and the Eclipse is there. Helm might end up falling. They get the kill onto the Ancient Apparition. They're looking towards Butter. Micro cuts in from the north, sets up with the Earth Splitter. The Fisher's there as well, and the Pulse Nova just doing so much damage. Butter will deny that kill towards the Council, who find themselves the Ancient Apparition, the Underlord, and the Earthshaker, which isn't too bad in retrospect.
Yeah, but they wasted so much time looking for those kills, and the Underlord, sure he died and Apparition died, but Butter denied himself, so he just spent, like what, 1 minute just chasing around for 2 kills on an offlaner and a position 5. Which had your carry involved, mind you. Tinker wasn't farming away all this time, but he does have his boots of travel now.
And honestly, that was more an error on the part of Team Buriza. The Yule Scepter absolutely negating both the Fish and the Ice Blast from Micro. I mean, Micro's Yule Scepter, he's recognized it. My bad is what he's going to be spamming in team chat. Anyway, look at this. Butter's got his Blink Dagger at the same time as Tinker picks up his BOTs.
Yeah, well, we all know what's going to happen next. You've seen that story before, and...
look at this. There you go. Butter mimicking GH God to the fullest. Sets up for a kill on a Susmoy.
Sick Fisher there. The best Blink Dagger really could possibly ask for if you are Buriza right now. Pick up a kill on the Tinker. Show him that you have a Blink Dagger and stab him to death with it.
Yeah. I really like how Buriza are approaching the game altogether. They've got the right idea. They recognize that they were up against a rather difficult aggressive tri lane, and they instead try and focus on winning the other 2 lanes. And Saurabh just minimizes his deaths in the safe lane. So I'm going to tell you guys a very fun story about Saurabh. Do you know what his nickname is, Floki?
Nope.
Okay, so his nickname is Pani Puri. Do you know why?
Why?
Because his father actually ran a Pani Puri stall. And that's his background. And he got into esports. His house was attached to his father's stall. And now, I still vividly remember his Juggernaut performance earlier on in the ESL India Premiership.
That is actually so commendable right now. I mean,
absolutely. This is a Humans of Bombay story.
Indeed. I really want to see this story on my Humans of Bombay page.
Absolutely.
On my favorite.
And look at that. Despite being up against an aggressive tri lane, he's kept the farm going. He's almost up there in terms of net worth. But near the Rosh Pit, there's an Ice Blast coming through. Doesn't quite connect on anyone. Micro tagged by the Maldic. Turns towards Animal. They've already bought down Lost Rider. The Enchant Totem will miss, but the Fisher will not. And they clean up together. Find themselves both the supports on the side of Team Council. Or the Council. And it's got the Mask of Madness and their Dragon Lance. But
yeah, you
where
probably
were the
want
stacks?
Luna to have more farm. You want Luna to have more farm. She doesn't have enough farm at this point for someone who's had quite a free lane, in all honesty.
Yeah.
You should be having more losses in the anti-mage. Come on. You had an aggressive tri lane. You were shutting down the anti-mage. There should be stacks. There should be a Mask of Madness. There should be efficient farming. But we don't see any of that.
Yeah. It's very important to understand what's going on with your side lanes, right? You want to be winning either one of your side lanes. Pugna versus Underlord, it's not a matchup that the Pugna can win. And then you got the aggressive tri lane. If you're not winning that either,
what are you really doing?
What are you really doing? And obviously, I want to point at Susmoy's kill will. I don't think he should have even taken those 2 points into the heat-seeking missiles early on. Just keep spamming the march, keep pushing the wave. That's all he had to do.
Yeah, and the worst part is that Jin actually got shut down. He was the only hero on the side of the council who can actually do something. But Buriza recognized that perfectly, and they went top 4 times, killed off Jin, and Jin,
Absolutely.
as a result, is sitting on
Yeah.
scraps of items right now. Just an Aether-Lens Soul Ring. 20
Aether-Lens,
minutes in
20
for the
minutes in.
Pugna.
Yeah, it's not too impressive. He's building towards a herd, but
And look at this ambitious smoke by Buriza. They don't have any aggressive vision around the map. All they
mean
see is
Council?
Micro and Underlord. Yeah, I'm sorry, I mean Council, not
Yeah.
Buriza, my bad.
they have smoked up now. There's a lot of gold if they do manage to kill off the Slush Rack, but I'm not too sure if they will find him. They'll find Butter though with the Butter Strike. The follow-up on its way, the Ice Blast setting up for an Echo Slam. Butter lets the Fisher down, walks ahead. The death ward is there. Butter's gonna fall. I think that was the Eclipse committed, and that very same Eclipse might set up for a kill onto the Underlord. But Micro wrecking havoc elsewhere. I'm keeping my eyes on Darshan. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Butter uses the Echo Slam, sets up for Micro's monster kill streak as they bring down both the Pugna and the Tinker, an animal. He's going to TP himself to the high ground and get the hell out of there. Darshan didn't even end up falling. So all they found was an Earthshaker. An Earthshaker bought back
And Echo
Game-
slammed the Tinker in the face.
and Echo Slam the Tinker. I think Buriza are absolutely okay with that.
I mean, all you really found was Butter, and even then Butter buys back.
So I
You get
took
the
a
kill
look.
on Jin, you get the kill on
Ye-
Susmoy.
Yeah, I took a look at the fight recap. So Buriza did like 3,000 odd damage, and the Council did around like 5,000 damage or so. A lot of that must have probably been onto Darshan.
Micro? I saw what Micro did you?
Did he pop his BKB?
No. It was something slightly worse than that. He popped his TP and cancelled it at the last moment.
That's forgivable.
Yeah, that's forgivable.
But yeah,
He's testing out the Chinese teleport scroll.
absolutely.
Has the BKB, but trust his BKB, not its teleport scroll.
Yeah. He's played a lot on the Perfect World server.
You know what they say about Chinese BKBs?
The true indicator of a good team, and this is what I'm looking for in Buriza, is how they close the game and how they keep this advantage going. For now, though, they're going to find Animal.
I mean,
Eh.
this is just Buriza playing with the food right now, in all honesty.
Right.
Council is the food and they're just messing around.
So-
Buriza, if they want, they can just march into the rush, but they have a less rack. They can take it down fairly well with the Edict and the Pulse Nova.
Yep.
That is an option that they have available, and they're even gonna find the Arcane Rune for Lesh, so certainly a possibility that we could be looking at. Lesh with the
But
Nature's
Floki,
could go
there
high
was a
ground.
timing that you mentioned, and it's the Tinker's Blink Dagger.
It's
nearly
coming
got
in
it.
soon. Yeah, because now he's gonna get a bit more mobile and he's gonna get a lot harder to catch. He's still 50 gold away from it, and if he, yeah, okay, he's just gonna sell his stick and buy the Blink Dagger. Okay, 22 minutes in, Blink Dagger, Soul Ring, Tinker, not really what you want, but
Yeah.
you gotta make do with what you have, and that's what Council are gonna do now. Good thing is that it's gonna be a lot difficult for Buriza to push, so if nothing, at least the game will go on for another 10 minutes if you're
Oh, yeah.
Susmoy. But you have to make sure you don't get caught out by the Earthshaker.
I-
And that's where you start looking for the good wards by supports. Wards placed on cliffs, on high grounds, where you can see the Tinker.
And hopefully
more
catch him out.
specifically, yep, the Tinker ward. Oh,
But
as I say
bottom
that
lane,
though.
Butter, Echo Slam setting up for the Ice Blast, the Enchanter. Perfectly done there by Butter. The synergy between both these supports is
Tinker.
one to admire. They might get Susmoy here. The bit of malice is there, but Susmoy will manage to get away. Lost Rider channeling the Dead Ward Animal with the Power Strike. Darshan pops the mech, hopes to stay alive, but there's no way he's getting out of here. Well, he's going to challenge the Dark Rift, but on the backlines. Here comes Micro. Yule Scepter on himself, not onto the Tinker. Quick cast. Not every mid laner's best friend, as they do end up cleaning up on that Witch Doctor, but they do not find the Tinker. Meanwhile, at mid, Butter blinks ahead, and that should be the death of him.
That was a weird blink ahead by Butter, to say the least.
Space created though. Micro found the bottom tier 2.
Oh well, yeah, space indeed. And Micro, how do you really stop this guy? You really need your Blink Dagger on the Sand King. He is still only on 1.2k gold. Not the position you want to be in if you are Council. You ideally want the Blink
Yeah.
Dagger plus probably components of a new item if you're the SK, but at this point all they have
I think
is...
even the blink is good enough. All that the council have got to do is actually make space for the Sand King. Come on, you're 3 towers down.
I mean, they're making space, but the space is being taken up by the Tinker. So where do you really farm if you're the SK? And
I
the
mean,
answer
Animal
is
could
nowhere.
go and push a lane right now like he is doing, but if he ends up dying in the process of doing this, it isn't worth it.
Yep.
Also, the council, they want to be warding Roshan, because Roshan is definitely on the cards for Team Buriza, and they want to keep their eyes peeled for Roshan. Hopefully look to contest. They're not too bad around the pit with the death ward and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, Floki, we spoke of the death ward, but I haven't seen too much of it.
I mean, it was responsible for Darshan's death, so
Wait,
I don't
the
think
death
we
at this tier 2?
yeah,
Oh,
Darshan did die
I'm
because
talking
of the
about
death
the
ward.
nether ward, my bad.
Okay, the nether ward, yeah. The nether
Yeah,
ward, yeah, it's because Jin didn't have a good time, got ganked so much early on. Now he has full points on the nether ward, so it's actually going to do a lot more work.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure if you take a look at the fight recap, or at least take a look at the damage a hero takes when he dies, you'll find that the nether ward, not the death ward, you're confusing me as well. The nether ward is going to do a lot of work on the
It
Lesh.
should, but now the Lesh has a BKB. The interesting thing about the nether ward is that it pierces spell immunity.
Oh,
Yeah, it pierces spell immunity. So that
but
BKB
what part
is...
of it pierces spell immunity though? Is it the part where you deal
I mean,
damage to the
tooltips
hero,
are
or is it the
always vague.
mana?
I know it pierces spell immunity. Let me take a look. It just says pierces spell immunity, man.
Okay, so here's what I'm
I
thinking
think
it does. All it does
it's
is
the
reduce...
damage. It's the
I don't think
damage.
it's damage, it's probably the mana degen aspect of
Nah,
it.
it's the damage. I've seen the damage hit through spell immunity.
Okay. Well, that's good, I guess. The mana regen reduction isn't anything great though if you look at the nether ward. It's only -1 mana regen, and
It's... Yeah, I mean, it's great if it's a long drawn fight. Otherwise, it doesn't need too much.
I mean, even if it's a long drawn fight, the Lesh has 19 mana regen, so I'm not sure how it works. If the mana regen reduction gets amplified by int, then it's great. If it doesn't, then it's just garbage, in all honesty. But now not Signify, Buriza. Buriza gonna find the Aegis and they hand it over to Micro. So Micro is gonna have 2 lives to work with. Really good.
I think I understand this. Diabolic Edict once, get the tower, Diabolic Edict again, maybe with BKB, start applying pressure on the racks.
You want to pick the Tinker up though, like it's very, very easier to just find the Tinker first and then go for the high ground.
It is. It is if the Tinker is careless with his positioning. And I think the Tinker should know by now that no lane is safe to push. But that's in no man's land. Has a BKB. Will he get it off? Yes, he will. Looks to turn Micro. Has a BKB of his own, but the Eclipse. Off the mark, the Ice Blast comes through, and that's the Eclipse on cooldown. Saurabh will take that as an invitation to push out the top lane as much as possible.
I mean, that's a BKB gone. That's a talisman. I mean, that's the Eclipse popped as well.
Yeah.
So this is a good timing, but there's also a Tinker in the enemy team, so you can't really push. This is where you really claw your hair out of your Buriza because, well, you have this net worth advantage. You did pop the Luna's BKB and force her to use Eclipse. It did too
Micro.
much.
Look at that. Pops the Edict. Loses
Micro
about
here.
a good 900 points of health. But there's the Echo Slam from Butter. He's got the Luna. Luna caught in the pit. Will end up falling. Jin tagged by the Ice Blast. Will fall as well. Micro with the Pulse Nova, getting credit for that one. The Council, can they really hold? Both the Pugna as well as the Luna do not have buyback. And Micro, he's still got the Aegis if he needs it. The Death Ward, not available. The Nether Ward taken out of the fight. Team Buriza looking to end this game. It's only Susmoy. He's got to be careful. The Bitter Malice is there. Catches the Witch Doctor. Animal goes in with the Power Strike. Animal does manage to find his Blink Dagger in good time. It's the Tinker show. And
Yep.
I mean, you can put 5 of the best minds in the world and one broken hero called the Tinker will make sure that they can't close the game. But Team Buriza, after an Echo Slam like that, could possibly find an opening. They are doing a fair amount of work on the tier 3. The Glyph on cooldown, quick burrow. They want to take away the Aegis, but the question is, will they pay with the Sand King's life? The answer is yes, is Micro. Holds on to his Aegis. He's got his BKB coming off cooldown. Saurabh blinks forward, sees the Witch Doctor. Easy pickings, but Jin with the blast will finally bring down the Leshrac. The tier 3 though, falling as well. Butter, he's got to be careful. The life drain is there, but Butter keeps his distance and keeps his life intact. Tier 3 tower does end up falling. Micro's got his BKB once more. Yule Scepter setting up for a splitter. Death pops his own BKB. Doesn't still have the Eclipse. So Team Buriza, they can Dark Rift, go home.
I mean, they should just look to take the outer shrines for now.
Yeah.
Maybe you still have the ages, so you could probably try to force the
And
racks,
they're
but
gonna
that's
dark
not
drift
the
back
choice.
home.
Yeah. You're gonna go back home, drink up some. I'm not sure if you're allowed to say this. So I'm just gonna say that you're gonna drink up some fruit juice, come back, take the shrines, and then move on to bigger things in life. That's the melee racks and the range racks stuff.
I think you can say that they have to drink some Red Bull.
Yeah, I think that's safe enough. Oh wow,
Anyway.
Saurabh. He actually manta dodged the
What do you
creeps.
meant to dodge?
He manta dodged the desecrate. That's the
Ah.
AoE say to I mean, that's actually
The root.
timing was good. Yeah, the timing was good. Not the root, the damage spell. When he slams the ground and lowers your armor.
Yeah.
That annoying spell. Yeah. So the timing was perfect.
I don't know if Animal
That's
can
what's
dodge
commendable.
the Abyssal Blade that's on its way. And Saurabh on point with that Abyssal Blade. Not. He's gonna use the Mana Void. I thought he wouldn't.
Oh yeah,
That's
he does
okay.
that.
67-second
kill.
cooldown. He's gonna get his own BKB. And yeah, I mean, Susman. He's got to be so careful about the next time he defends high ground because Saurabh might probably just blink onto him. What the?
He's sort of just outplaying himself.
Saurabh outplaying himself? No, Butter and
Oh. What?
Butter and Micro bring down the Tinker. I mean, Floki, in my head, I'd already made this decision that Tinker had no right pushing out the side lanes. So I didn't even bother to look for that on my mini-map. But Butter, he's moved on to the shrines in Team Buriza. They got the Tinker down. I'd really like to see them force a buyback, and they're doing exactly that. Look at Micro. Pops the Edict, takes away the tier 3 tower. Now there's the Nether Ward. But they can't really punish this. And now with an AM, this is extremely easy for the side of Buriza. All they have to do is rat top and bottom. AM at one lane, the Leshrac at the other.
I mean, Micro's just 10 steps ahead of everyone at this point. Just going to lanes, edicting them down.
Yeah.
Sees them find the Tinker and just moves on to the shrine, to the structures. Tier 3 tower dead on both the top lane as well as the bottom lane. The Tinker is back up though, so those pesky March of the Machine spam is gonna come in, and if you're Buriza, you're just gonna be like, oh well, we have to deal with this again.
Look at this. I mean, Darshan's even itemizing the closest game quicker. He's got his Meteor Hammer.
That's actually not a bad idea. You get the Meteor
it's
Hammer.
a great idea, right? I mean, you want to take structures. And
It
take
also-
as less damage as possible while you're taking structures.
And the good thing about the Meteor Hammer also is that you sort of go the high ground, you start channeling it, it maybe forces a reaction out of Council, and that's what you're really looking for. Because, well, if Underlord is channeling a Meteor Hammer, he's going to be really, really hard to take down, especially when he has Pipe, Creeps, and whatnot.
Yep.
So, if you force a reaction out of Council, that actually opens things up for your anti-mage and your Leshrac to go with, so...
Yep.
That's a good opening that Buriza could work with.
There's the Meteor Hammer. Now, this might force out the Glyph. Council? Are they committing the Glyph for this one? No.
Nope, they don't have
They
the
are.
glyph.
And even if they do, Saurabh's ratting up top.
Yes, so...
And they're going to waste spells on Saurabh, not catch him. Down bottom, you got Micro, who's going to claim the range barracks. Council, they're being split across all three lanes, and they aren't doing too much to defend even any one of them. Micro... Wait, where did Micro get that Glimmer Cape from?
He got it from an ally, I think he got
I think it was
from
Helm's,
the
yeah, it was Helm's
apparition,
Glimmer Cape. Look at this. At mid, you got Darshan with the Meteor Hammer, but they might have caught out Saurabh. Saurabh pops his BKB, actually blinks forward, blinks towards Shin, will bring him down with the Abyssal Blade. The Death Ward is there, Saurabh copying a fair amount of physical damage, but he's going to blink away. Buyback on Jin. Animal wants to fight, goes in with the Bar Strike Butter. He's got his Shadow Blade, can run away, no detection on the side of the Council, and with the Fisher they'll turn. Saurabh blinks forward, the bashes on point just as he needs them. Saurabh gets himself a double kill, and Micro still alive, trying to get himself out of there. He's dropping low, the life drain won't come through, but so smart. Blinks forward, nukes down the Leshrac, and that's Leshrac down for a good 87 seconds. That's a godlike streak taken away from Micro. There's Darshan. Channels the Dark Rift, takes Helm with him, but Butter, well, he's going to blink into the side and just TP out of there. They lost their barracks bottom, they defended the melee barracks up top, and they lost their tier 3 tower at mid.
Well, that was a bit of carelessness there by Buriza, just rushing into the fight like that. I think they were better off probably getting the structures. Having, how should I say this, playing for the objective in Dota is so hard to do when you have such a substantial net worth lead. You just feel like going in there and killing them and showing them that, getting that satisfying dopamine kick in your brain that you get after killing the hero. But Buriza this time, they should be disciplined and they'll probably get themselves the mid-racks. The top racks is still standing. I'm actually surprised that it is. I thought it would certainly end up falling,
Yeah, I
but it
mean,
didn't.
oh wait a minute. Potter mid lane catches the Tinker, lets the Echo Slam loose, but it isn't
And
enough
lovely.
damage. Helm does have an Ice Blast coming off cooldown. Look for the Ice Blast. It is traveling to the mid lane, but
I mean, that was
Tinker's out of there.
slight miscoordination there. But if Butter's going for the play, I think what the ideal call should be is tell Helm
Yeah,
that Helm, hey, look, I'm gonna go mid. If I see Tinker, I'm echo slamming. As soon as you see Tinker, launch your Ice Blast, and that's when you can get the kill. But this miscoordination from Buriza is probably something that they should look to fix.
nah,
And
they've done it perfectly in the past. This time they're just getting a little carried away, and yeah,
okay, I guess
that
I haven't been paying too
miscoordination
much
when you get
attention.
carried away is what gets you punished versus a good team.
Oh yeah. Council, they actually have pretty damn farmed on Deaths. Deaths has a butterfly, but the anti-mage is big, and the anti-mage completely destroys the Luna at this point. Hell, the anti-mage is level 25. So he
Oh
has
yeah.
the extra spell shield to work with. He's gonna finish up his butterfly soon. All the good stuff for him. I think the only move remaining for Council at this moment is to hold high ground. Just pray to God that your Tinker keeps marching and holds on to base and that Buriza do something stupid.
Yeah. I think
Or they could look to smoke up together and maybe find the AM, but you don't have the damage to bring him down right now, which
the
is a
problem
big problem.
is with waves pushing in the Dark Rift. It's,
Very
I
risky.
mean, yeah, it's really difficult to get out of your base. Look at Darshan, man. I mean, they could punish the Underlord, which is what they're going to do. They got the Decrypt, they got the Burrow and the Epicenter Dark Rift being channeled here by Darshan, but he's going to end up falling. Darshan throwing away his life, but that space created in the mid lane as Micro pops his BKB and the Edict. Now, Micro needs backup. He needs this team to fight alongside him. But they are. There's
What?
Butter, blinks in with the enchant out mid. The Fisher's there, setting up for the kill on an animal. They'll bring down Lost Rider as well. And Saurabh, with the butterfly of his own, blinks forward aggressively into no man's land. Doesn't find anyone or anything. That's with that Eclipse. Just catching
What?
the air. And the Radiant Creep Wave. That's his BKB committed. And now he's looking mighty stupid. As Saurabh blinks ahead. Quick defensive decrypt. Buying time for death, but the Fisher's there. And Saurabh will clean him up with the Mana Void. Jin looking to run, but Saurabh will pursue,
GG's
and
call.
that's the council tapping out as Team Buriza playing some really good Dota here.
But he's just stomping all over their opponents. I'm not gonna cut any slack to Council this time because, well, they did get stomped over, to be honest. And you probably want to look back, see what went wrong. I think it was the aggressive try lane from Council.
Yep.
And
It
Jin
was
getting
that,
ganked a lot. Just tanking
yeah,
all those ganks.
absolutely. It was Jin failing to scale, it was Buriza. I mean, it was the council being a little reactionary.
Yep.
Also one of those odd games where Jin doesn't scale. An off day for the council, but Buriza, they continue their winning streak here at the ESL India Premiership. They have lost only 2 games so far, and they're looking really strong in phase 1. Folks, that's